What if Junpei Yoshino reached his absolute max potential? Most people remember Junpei as one of the most tragic characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. He was manipulated, broken, and taken out before he ever had the chance to truly understand his own power. But that's exactly why his max potential is so interesting, because Junpei wasn't really weak. He was inexperienced. He had only just awakened his cursed technique. He had almost no real training, and he was thrown into a world of curses, sorcerers, and monsters before he even knew what he was becoming. So the real question is, how strong could Junpei have become if he survived? Junpei's main ability was connected to his jellyfish, shikigami, Moon Dregs. At first glance, that might not sound as flashy as Gojo's Limitless, Sukuna's Slashes, or Megumi's 10 Shadows. But Moon Dregs had something extremely dangerous: poison. And in Jujutsu Kaisen, poison-based techniques can be terrifying because they don't need to destroy the enemy instantly. They just need to touch you, weaken you, slow you down, and make the fight worse over time. That means Junpei's true strength would not be raw power. His true strength would be control. A max potential Junpei would fight like a trap-based sorcerer. Instead of charging straight into battle, he would spread Moon Dregs across the battlefield, controlling space, blocking movement, and forcing enemies to fight carefully. Imagine fighting someone who can turn the entire area into a poisonous zone. Every step is dangerous. Every attack could be bait. Every time you get close, the jellyfish shikigami appears from another angle. That is where Junpei's potential starts to become scary. At beginner level, Moon Dregs was just one shikigami, but at max potential Junpei could possibly evolve it into multiple forms. A defensive form that wraps around him like armor, an offensive form that stings enemies from a distance, a trap form that hides poisonous threads across the battlefield, and a support form that protects Junpei while he prepares stronger attacks. This would make Junpei extremely hard to approach, and that matters because Junpei's biggest weakness was his physical ability. He was not built like Yuji. He was not a close-range monster, so his best path would be becoming a mid-range curse technique specialist, someone who wins by controlling the fight before the enemy realizes they are already trapped. Now, let's take it further. If Junpei trained under real sorcerers, his cursed energy control would improve massively. He could reinforce his body better. He could command Moon Dregs faster. He could make the poison stronger, more precise, and harder to resist. Instead of just poisoning the enemy randomly, max potential Junpei could create different types of poison. One poison is slow movement, one poison to weaken cursed energy output, one poison to numb the body, and one poison designed to finish the fight if the enemy stays inside his range too long. That would make him a nightmare against reckless fighters. If someone charges in without thinking, they lose. If someone underestimates him, they lose. If someone gives him time to set up the battlefield, they are already in danger. But could Junpei reach grade 1? Honestly, yes, with proper training, better cursed energy control, stronger Moon Dregs, and battlefield poison control. Junpei could absolutely become a grade 1 level sorcerer. He would not be the strongest in raw power, but he would be one of the most annoying and dangerous matchups. Because some characters win by overwhelming you, Junpei would win by slowly taking away your options. Now, could he reach special grade? This is where it gets interesting. By normal standards, probably not easy. Special grade is a ridiculous level. That is a level of monsters who can destroy cities, break the balance of the world, or defeat entire groups of sorcerers by themselves. Junpei would need something beyond just a stronger shikigami. He would need a domain expansion, and this is where his max potential becomes terrifying. A fan-made Junpei domain expansion could be something like a dark, poisonous ocean filled with Moon Dregs. Inside the domain, the enemy would be surrounded by invisible poisonous currents, jellyfish shikigami, and guaranteed hit venom attacks. Every breath, every movement, every second inside the domain would poison the target deeper. The scary part is that Junpei would not need to overpower the enemy immediately. He would only need to keep them inside long enough. That type of domain would make him extremely dangerous against anyone without anti-domain techniques. And if he mastered barriers, simple domain, or even basic anti-domain defense, he could survive much longer against high-level sorcerers. At max potential, Junpei would become a battlefield controller, a poison specialist, a shikigami user, and possibly a domain user. He would not be another Gojo. He would not be another Yutei, but he could become one of the most dangerous what-if grade 1 sorcerers in Jujutsu. And with a completed domain expansion, he might even touch the edge of special grade threat level. Not because he has the most destructive power, but because his technique could become unfair in the right situation. Junpei's tragedy is that he never got the time to grow. He never got a mentor who truly cared for him. He never got to learn what kind of sorcerer he could become. But if he had survived, if he trained properly, if he mastered Moon Dregs, if he turned poison into a complete fighting style, then Junpei Yoshino could have become far more dangerous than people realize. His max potential is not about becoming the strongest. It is about becoming the kind of fighter you never want to be trapped against. Because once Junpei controls the battlefield, the fight is already slowly ending. This is a fan-made AI-assisted what-if analysis for fun and discussion. Not official canon, but as a max potential character, Junpei Yoshino had way more potential than people give him credit for.